Florida Governor Ron DeSantis defending his decision to appoint Broward Sheriff Gregory Tony.
And it comes after the county's top cop went on the record responding to a bombshell report over the weekend about his involvement in a deadly shooting as a teenager. Local 10's Terrell Fournay live now in Fort Lauderdale with what the governor is saying tonight. Terrell.
Well, the race for Broward Sheriff is turning very nasty. Opponents are using salacious photos of the sheriff that are pulled from a private website when he was on his own time to question his character. And now his integrity is being questioned by those political opponents because of that revelation that he committed that murder as a juvenile. And yes, you mentioned it, the governor is now weighing in.
There was no crime.
Sheriff Gregory Tony was just 14 years old when he was acquitted in the self-defense murder of Hector Rodriguez 27 years ago in his native Philadelphia. The incident may not have come as quite a shock to the Broward community he leads had he previously and publicly disclosed his brush with the law.
This is not something that I'm afraid to speak in public about, but the reality of it is in an application process, when you're coming in for an employment, one, it doesn't require you to bring it up.
Local 10 obtained Tony's hiring forms from the Coral Springs Police Department, where he started his law enforcement career. Papers that specifically ask about juvenile arrest or charges, and if one had ever been detained for investigative purposes as a suspect, to which he marked no for all. Today, no court records exist to confirm or refute the incident that top brass at Coral Springs PD were in the dark about.
Chief Foster, that had he been aware of this information at the time of the application, he would not have hired Officer Tony or Sergeant Tony.
It's not like he's my sheriff. I didn't even know the guy.
Governor Ron DeSantis, who appointed Tony as sheriff last year, citing his leadership skills, was also unaware, but says the revelation would not have changed his decision.
I don't think it would have, because it was self-defense, I don't think it would have made a difference, but it did not come up in the background check because he had never been charged or had ever had anything show up on the record.
Years later, this information were to be revealed by one of your deputies that you were not aware of during the hiring process years ago. How would you handle it administratively?
I don't think there's a punitive element that you can apply there. If they're complying with the laws and their law doesn't require them to talk about a tragic incident that they survived, then how can you hold someone accountable?
And we certainly could see more mudslinging in the days and weeks ahead until that primary, which is set for August. In the meantime, the governor says he is staying out of it. He says that this race should be decided by the voters of Broward County. Reporting live near Fort Lauderdale tonight, I'm Terrell Fournay, Local 10 News.